From the creators of One Guy comes one joke. One joke to rule them all. How many people can we get on the same tired shit? Anyway, it's fine. Tire yourselves out. We're going in. It's Smash Melee time. And more importantly, it's Smash Melee with fucking Rollback. Let's go. Yo.
Who would have thought?
Fizzi would have thought. Apparently. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Thanks for coming on.
Yep, excited to be here.
Okay. There's many questions, but first things first, I suppose. Yeah, there's a connection here between our local Kick Daddy, as he's called on this side of things, Mr. Reggie, aka Chester, and you, Fizzi. What's the connection here? What's the history?
Fizzi, why were you even in Montreal in the first place?
I was studying in Montreal. I went to McGill.
And do you remember in which year we met? It was during the Brawl days.
It was during the Brawl days. So I would guess probably like 2009. We must have met. Like
the Dark Ages.
Okay, and had those sets.
Yeah,
going.
right. In Brawl, I think at first I was better at Brawl, and then I think Reggie. I think you got better than me eventually, but I think at first.
I think if we look on your channel, the tapes are there, boy.
Oh, is there proof? Are there receipts?
I think there are tapes out there. I should go ahead and check it out.
Oh boy,
we could check the tapes. I don't know how many games of Brawl we have against each other on there, but there might be some.
Yeah.
Damn, those Dark Ages though. That was a time. Like, I don't know how soon afterwards when I saw the light leave Reggie's eyes, but it was not too long after that, because that was the first time you were like, oh, something after Melee, right? And then
for the longest time I was like, no, but Melee was not like that at the beginning. We're gonna find something. There's gonna be something, and then the people just disappearing around you.
JK.
And then like new. Anyway, after a while, Fizzi was like, "Yo, I play Melee now." And it's like, "Okay, Melee, Melee boy, we're gonna learn." And then,
well, I think partially. I mean, Reggie was part of that, right? I think like the community sort of introduced me to Melee. That's like, Reggie, Kage, or whatever. And I started playing, and I was like, wow, this game is like... I mean, I had played casually before and stuff, but I was like, this game just feels so much deeper. And I was so sick of being camped, playing D2D. And I was like, oh, in Melee, I can just, like, run around and stuff.
I see. Movement. Schmovement.
Yeah.
We really need to just crack open your brain for a second and break this down, because, like, what you've done here is you've put Rollback Netcode in Melee, and like to fighting games right now, like this is
life,
a golden light shining on a mountaintop, because a bunch of the games I care about have the worst netcode in the world, and everyone is sick of hearing me talk about it, because every time there's an update on something happening with whatever game right now, all we can talk about is just how it's a shame that online really sucks, because this is a really cool looking game and it would have been really hype if there was a decent community for it, but people can't get past just the fact that you can't play with other people, and in fighting games now, especially with quarantine and everything, net play is so fucking important. It's so crucial, and they just won't do it, even though this is a solved problem from 13 years ago. It's crazy. So we talk about all these games that have had it and do put it in, but there's so many games that are stubborn, and the idea that you can just, through sheer force of will, 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power, will, etc., just fucking go, I'll do it myself. And now we have this setup here. Slippy.gg is the site you can go to. You can get Dolphin with Netplay, and I just played a match. You just played a match on it.
Yes, I have.
I made an account. It was super quick. I got in there, and it felt flawless. It felt like a completely offline match. There was nothing at all to say about it. So That's incredible, man. That's a super amazing accomplishment, and just kudos to that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like how long did it take to do all of that?
So I think I got the idea to really go for it, I think around end of December
Okay.
last year. And I think between like get then and getting it out live was like pretty much it was like 7 months of full-time work. I had quit my job to like just
You
before
quit
probably
your
a month.
job to do that
Yo,
full time.
okay.
Well, originally I quit my job not necessarily intending to work on Rollback. I was gonna work on Slippy for sure, but I was maybe gonna work on other stuff. And then I just got so excited about the idea and the challenge.
It was a
Uh,
side project?
Wow.
and so I was like, well, eventually it was like full time. Like when I decided to do it, I was only working on that,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But I wasn't sure at first whether that was what I was gonna work on when I quit my job.
And like, I guess, at what point did you kind of like you had the idea, but like at what point did you kind of look at this and go like, this is actually feasible? Because this is something that like you haven't really
Yeah.
seen much of. The only other community I can think of that's had anything like this is Melty Blood, right?
I I knew I could build a prototype. Like I could probably right away I was like I can build something that'll like kind of do what I want. But what I didn't know was whether, it would like feel good, it would play well and stuff. So that's why like my goal was to rush to a prototype, right? Rush to like the bare minimum of like testing like does it feel okay to
Mm-hmm.
play this? And honestly, that process probably only took like 2 or 3 months. The rest of it is like polish, UX, matchmaking, like making it actually like good to play and use. Um,
Okay, so like 90 days to prototype.
yeah, I mean just to get to like something that kind of works,
Yeah.
and just to make because like I said, I wanted to make sure that like, oh, I can play this with people and it feels good, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of like that is simultaneously like it's crazy to hear those numbers, but it's also infuriating to think that one guy, one person working on this can do it for a game and like actually make the whole thing work, make something that an entire community can gather around and play. One person can do it. And like
Yeah.
I just the level of it's so frustrating because it's like there's a level of stubbornness that you see a lot of Japanese devs have and a lot of Japanese studios have where we've seen it time and time again, and like having like kind of spoken to people, we have hard confirmations that it's like there is just a way of making things that is traditional. It's the way it's always been done, and they don't stray from it. And like it's only until right now with like I think like Guilty Gear Strive and like a lot of other games, there's been so much feedback going, for the love of God, please make sure your game runs outside of Japan, please. And the way to do
Yeah.
that is to use what you have over here. But using something from outside of what a lot of these companies are used to, they just don't like that idea. They don't like the idea of turning to the outside, you know? So it really is this weird story of like, you've got everyone letting ArcSys know, please put Rollback in Strive, and they eventually they listened, you know. And then you've got like Street Fighter V, where it actually has Rollback in it, but it was poorly implemented.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
again, one guy, 72 hours, made
Yeah.
a fix, and then went, "Hey, Capcom, fix your shit."
And then a guy had the time to patch that.
Patched it to
And then they had
smooth
a second version.
to smooth it. Like, do you understand how crazy it is? You know?
That guy's in our Discord actually.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Shout outs to that guy. Oh, you've spoken to
I
him.
think his name is Altamore. Yeah.
Ultimore's patch. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. It's so like it's you want to talk about a bad look. One fan comes out, they do what you
Oh,
haven't
man.
done, and then on top of that, they do it like, hey, if I would have had, it would have taken less time if your shit was open, you know, if I could have taken a
Yeah.
look at it directly. But so that's what's crazy about what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like it's just dear God,
To-
need to see this in other games.
To be fair, like I think like the other side is we do have some advantages. Like we don't have to make sure it works for everything, right? Like, for example, my system doesn't do doubles, right? Nintendo would never ever launch a product that doesn't do doubles.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Altamore's patch, I believe, if I'm correct, didn't work on console, right?
It worked unilaterally on PC for a while.
Initial release.
And then the patch made it that it didn't push all the lag on PS4 later on.
Exactly. So the second
But
patch.
it didn't actually like work for them, right? It just like it didn't.
No, it
make
didn't improve anything
worse.
for PS4.
Yeah, consoles at first were not compatible at all. They couldn't crossplay. Then the second patch came out, made crossplay work, but it didn't improve for the consoles at all. Yeah.
Right. So I don't think Capcom would ever release that, right? Like they would never release something that doesn't improve it across the board. I think like they have to go the full
all
way.
Or nothing.
They can't. Yeah. They can't like release something that like, you know, because like this works for the competitive community and stuff, but maybe it doesn't. You know, it needs to work for everyone.
There are a lot of communities that are desperate to have their games improve their netcode. Right now, I can tell you that a game that I am big on, I'm a huge fan of, and I went pretty hard competitively on, was Samurai Showdown. Samurai Showdown is a game that I enjoy. It has god-awful netcode, and not just on the level where, like, playing feels bad, but just on a, like, structural, like, you can rematch a ranked opponent indefinitely level.
Isn't that nonsense? Like, not like Uniclear, like, you've played your best of 3, do you want to move to a lobby? No! Just keep on ranking!
What? SNK? What? So, you know, it's nonsense. And as a result, right now we have people in the Samsho community trying to connect and play with each other over Parsec. Because a Parsec match will actually go smoother than the proper in-game net play, you know? So Parsec is coming in for MVC3 as well and stuff. But all this to say, what do you think the viability is of, like, kind of using what you've done in other fighting games?
So hard to say. I don't like, especially when it's on a different console. I think, for example, if you were to use what I did and try to add it to, like, let's say Brawl, right? I think that you could definitely reuse a lot of the concepts. You certainly wouldn't be able to reuse like any of the code.
Right.
In Brawl, you would be able to, or any other GameCube or Wii game. But yeah, it's too hard for me to say without knowing like kind of what the systems are around those games.
Okay.
Like a lot of this right now, especially, is made possible because of Dolphin, right?
Yeah.
Which for those who don't know is an open source emulator. And if it wasn't for Dolphin, like this wouldn't exist. So
that's actually like that's where my next line of question was going to be, like, is the fact that it's going through Dolphin actually something that makes a lot of that work way easier compared to, say, like what we hear when shout outs to whole back to block the Bestaban. He did a little video.
They've interacted.
Yeah. Of course. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Esteban's gonna, anytime a good ass story pops up, he's in there. He's got his nose to the grindstone, you know. I'm not surprised to hear that at all. Of course, there's an amazing story here.
Yeah.
But like, you know, he had that little video that had Keats explaining the nature of rollback, why it's important, how it works, and such. And they kind
amazing video.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing video. It's probably one of the major things that made me really decide to commit to working on it.
Fuck yeah.
I think I tweeted about it, but yeah, that video was definitely a major driver for me deciding to do it.
Awesome. That's
and
really good to know.
A month before the release of Rollback, I was talking with Fizzi, and I was like, yo, you have to see this video. He's like, already seen it. Like,
in there.
Excellent.
In there, taking the lessons and moving forward with them, you know? So, yeah. And with that, right, came also, you know, kind of a bit more of a discussion that carried over onto Twitter, where it's like, what are we talking about in terms of difficulty when it comes to implementing rollback in games, right? One of the things that came up in many cases, especially for more modern games, is the earlier on you plan for it, the better off you're going to be. It's way harder to do it as a retrofit than it is to do it from the jump if you're building your game for it.
Yeah.
You don't understand the sadness of buying a fighting game and going online and seeing that the online is trash and saying I won't play this game.
But Grand Blue, you came to me and said, "Yo, I'm checking out Grand Blue. I had a lot of fun." And like I don't even know how
Marvel 3, Grand Blue, Street Fighter 5. That was a turn-off too for the longest time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, in Grand Blue, you came to me with one of the saddest stories, because I remember when you told me about how, like, you jumped on, you started playing in training mode, you learned some stuff, and then you went on and you tried to play a player match with 3 Point.
With Check Trap, actually.
Okay.
He lives across the river.
Right, a dude within
Laval.
Say a dude within our area code.
20-minute drive away.
Could not play a decent set, and you're like, this is a brand new game, you know?
It's so sad. It's so sad.
And it was COVID, so I can't go to his place to play. So GG, I can't play the game anymore.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you just like immediately like, what are we doing here, right? That's a whole game kind of tossed in the trash just because of this decision, you know?
Oh, that's a nice game.
Amazingly, I think Melee was set up pretty well. Interestingly enough, to implement rollback. I think so, like, things being separated enough, at least in the code logic.
Okay.
And I think a large part of that, which I don't think I've said this before publicly, but I think a large part of that is because of lightning mode. Reggie, do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? Yeah. Yeah, so lightning mode, the way I think it works is it lets you play the game really in like fast forward mode. So what happens is it plays 5 frames every frame.
Oh, okay.
So basically, in order to build that mode, they had to disconnect the rendering logic from like the game logic. Without, like, if it wasn't for that mode, they wouldn't have necessarily had to. And also that mode gave me confidence that rollback would work, right? Because I knew the game could run at least 5 frames in 1 frame. So that's like a lot of
prediction work.
Okay, and that you can have a neutral simulator of all the inputs.
Yeah, I just have to
obviously
obviously what I have to do is I have to like make it like decide when to fast forward, like when to run a bunch of frames and like be able to go back and stuff. And like I still have a lot of stuff to build, but I can be confident that at least the game is fast enough to run multiple frames in 1 frame at 60 FPS, you know?
Okay.
Which is one of the major hurdles, I think, for other games to implement rollback, is it's like you need to make sure that your game logic is really efficient, because you have to run multiple frames in 1 frame. Up to your max rollback limit, which in Melee I made it 7, but I think like games like Mortal Kombat or whatever are like 8. I think they can run 8 frames in 1 frame.
Well, that little crappy mode that was just for parties, like, you know, like slow-mo Melee. Lightning mode.
Yeah. And then everything's insanely fast, and it actually happens to. That's wild.
My first tournament.
Oh my god, Sakurai, man.
My first tournament where I thought they were like, I saw advanced decks. I thought they were playing lightning mode until like my eyes got used to it, and I was like, it's not lightning mode. Lightning mode comes back again to save the day. That's amazing.
Yo, I had fun with HP and like slow-mo on, just dicking around with that and stuff, but wow, just one dumb little thing like that. Interesting. I don't know. I just kind of just like, again though, one person with a couple of months looking and cracking it open, you know, you did this. And I just want to imagine that maybe 2 people with a little more time could look at something, or maybe even 3, you know? Yeah. And the results would be like, again, an entire community, an entire game effectively being saved. You know, because who knows when locals are coming back? Let's be real. Who knows? No, that right now it's a wrap. So
like, we're locked for 2 years at least. I'm not thinking majors next year.
And even when they are back, like, what's the confidence level? What are we talking about here? There's a million.
Are you sure that people will come?
There's a million little factors, you know. So,
well, that's
all this to say, Slippy.gg's. I jumped on. I got my account. Yeah. We're in there. Like, booting it up and immediately seeing a login screen implemented, and I'm like, okay,
this is serious.
This is legit. Hit that login button, go to the website, make the account, And now we got our ranked, unranked, direct, log out. We can jump right online.
And if you still want the rest of the game, you can still back out, and you got like player 1 mode. You got
the
versus
rest of
mode
the
if
game
you want
is
to play
there.
local.
Certainly.
Everything.
Can you back out
Yep.
on yours? I'm assuming the viewers
sure
can
stuff.
see.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is the online play option, right?
It's an
Which
online play menu implemented right into the yeah. It's fantastic, you know. And again, if you don't have your if you're not logged in, it's just going to give you a login prompt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff that you're talking about is the stuff that, added those last 4 months to the
Yeah.
development cycle, right? It's like there's like the 3 months to get rollback kind of working. Well, it still had some issues, right? But mostly working. And then, 4 months for the polish and just like all the stuff you're talking about.
It just looks like a seamless official update, you know what I mean? Like it's incredible. So
Yeah, like
and that's
someone said in
cool,
the chat, it looks so natural, just like Melee was always online. And it looks like this could have been launched in 2001. Like, it's beautiful.
I hope that some games can be salvaged through this in some way, shape, or form. And if not, then so be it, because the devs didn't do the work. They didn't want to do it, and the game kind of, all the effort put into the game kind of dies on the line when you don't have a way to play it with other people. So there's a little bit of that, like, just kind of spite energy in there, but it's super sad when it's like, but it's a fucking cool game though, you know?
Yeah.
And not to keep kicking that horse, let's play some games.
All right.
You know, so
I feel like I haven't played in a while, but we'll see how it goes.
Really?
okay, well
It's
before
funny, I build this and then I barely play it.
I'll have before Chet comes on and
Oh,
puts his name in there or whatever. I'm a Capcom boy. I don't Smash, so you can beat me up for a minute. So yeah, so the way you connect is through connect codes, which mine has been set up as SHOU pound
and I'm
286.
copied it. Okay, so I have it ready. And mine is Fizzi.
It's alphabetic.
Yeah, I actually was thinking of making an optional code that you could turn on to make it ASCII. And anyway, pound 36. Pound is to the right.
Yeah, I appreciate again the pound as before the hashtag. It was a pound.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully this works.
Character
We should
selected,
get connected in theory.
Locked in, searching for Fizzi.
Connecting.
All right.
There you are,
Yeah.
Captain Falcon.
Oh, it's moving fast.
All right.
So right now you're across the
we have
continent.
80 ping or so.
Yes.
So that's pretty good. That should be within the range where we can play at
2 frame delay on.
frames
Okay.
pretty easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we?
Yeah, sure.
I'm watching.
Oh, the crab.
Let's go.
Oh.
God. Oh my god. And Fizzy was telling me like, we're gonna play someday. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my god, we can?
Yeah, it's funny. I was telling Reggie a little bit about this, like before the launch, and I was like, Reggie, do you have a computer? 'Cause I wanted to get him in earlier, right? But
Yeah, early access.
Oh.
yeah.
Sorry, mate. Soon, TM.
Yeah, it's okay. Who knows? Maybe
Yo,
one
who
day.
knows?
Maybe. I know you're working on it, right?
Yep. I am.
Oh.
Oh well.
Ledge dashes.
Oh shit. I didn't get 4 stocked. That's fine. I'll take it.
Oh, I just noticed there's no music right now.
Yeah. So the reason why there's no music is kind of interesting.
Oh,
Music is one of.
It's not just 1.02 that has that.
What's that?
No.
So you
the
can
music.
turn off music if you want.
Okay.
Normally, right, in vanilla, but most people, I think most people leave it on. Personally, it really, like when at tournaments and there's like 10,000 setups and all of them are blasting music, I'm like,
Dreamland everywhere.
Yeah.
I think Dreamland is actually like 20% louder than all the other songs.
Oh wow. Okay.
It is so loud, and you
Yeah.
still hear it at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's like imprinted into your brain.
Yeah. Like just, is this silence? Nope, I still hear it.
So what's the reason that it's off?
Oh yeah, so the game doesn't do disc reads very frequently. Once you're in game, right, the game does not read from the disc.
Yeah.
Except for music and loading Pokemon Stadium transformations.
Okay.
So with Rollback, the way I ended up implementing the save states, you run into problems with file reads. Like effectively, what ends up happening, it's like the game will just crash if you get a rollback while the game is trying to do a file read. So just after some time, the game just crashes. So I can't.
Okay.
I had to disable anything that does file reads mid-game.
So fixed Pokemon Stadium is actually
Yeah,
a
it's
buff.
it's a technical limitation right now.
That's the best technical
Interesting.
limitation I've
Interesting.
ever heard.
Yeah,
It's not a bug; it's a feature.
yeah. For those who don't have context, there's a lot of debate in the community as to whether we should free Stadium.
I say it's a secret agenda.
So what's
Yeah,
the
have
what's,
it not.
sorry? What's the deal with this tree? Oh my god! What's the deal with this tree? What am I hearing about this infamous tree?
Well, you can't see it right now because the stage is frozen. So we're never gonna get the tree.
But the tree was bullshit.
Well, the thing is, I think people have different opinions, right? And Reggie probably has opinions too, but it splits up the stage completely. And if you try to jump over the tree to get to your opponent, you're at a major disadvantage, right? So, like, no one jumps over the tree in serious sets. You'll just, like, sit on your side of the tree and wait
Yeah.
for the stage to transform. And it kind of sucks if you're a spectator, because you have to wait. It sucks if you're a player, too, right? Because you also have to wait. So I
Because
don't know.
taking the action there would compromise your position. It's
Yeah.
like it's really terrible. And I was also telling Woolie that like if you're Fox, you can run through the tree.
Yeah. There's a bunch of glitches too, like you can fall through the stage, I think especially as Samus.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh,
I've seen foxes fall.
saving.
Oh dear God, that's that.
Okay. Okay, Fizzy. Hey, he's one of my students, you know.
Yeah, now it comes out.
It's so funny. I think Reggie would come to my place, he would get high, and then he would tell me to like be like water. That is what he would tell me to do.
This fucking bullshit artist right here.
That's how he told me to get good at this game.
Such trash. Absolute trash.
But you did learn, right?
I did.
See?
I'm kidding. That did actually happen. So I'm not saying that just for funsies,
my
but he also
God.
helped me. He also helped me for
So full
you know,
of shit.
for real.
Hey, he would get progressively better every time I would see
Okay,
him.
Bruce Lee. Fucking fuck out of here.
I don't even know what to say because somebody else was recently mad at me. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Joel.
so he was telling me that back in the days he was like, Reggie, how do I get better? And I just said, oh, dash dance more. And he was like, but what do you mean dash dance more? I'm like, dash dance more. And I just walked away. And he was so mad at me because he was like, what? That doesn't mean anything. But in my head, it was just like, just use footsies, space yourself, take your time.
Yeah.
But I had to go places, you know? So I just told him dash dance more.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
times.
I mean, I think you're right. Dash dancing's really good. It's
Yo,
freaking
have you
broken.
seen Wizrobe?
Or Zane?
Or yo, Zane? His Marth is so good.
Yeah.
Like Mewtwo King was probably like one of the most notorious Marth players, but Zane, like, he made that push with the character. That's like, oh, if you play like this, Marth is the top tier that we imagine. Because before then, like, you see Marth players and they were like, yo, Marth versus Falcon? Oh, that's definitely advantage faction, Falcon, maybe it's 5-5,
You know,
but you
I
watch.
still think that matchup might be advantage Falcon. Zane is just way too good.
He's too good. He makes it look too easy.
What's that?
He makes it look too easy.
Yeah. I mean, I still think he's struggled, right? Like with S2J and like various other Falcons. He's had close sets at the very least.
Put your plug your controller.
Okay.
Get in there.
That's awesome.
Oh boy. Okay.
Sorry you didn't get your name in though.
That's okay. I just didn't want the rumble.
Rumble's off. It's off.
It's
It's off at the emulator level. So
It's gonna be like the old days, losing to Reggie.
And be like, I can't believe I'm losing to this guy.
No, I never once felt that way. It's like, oh, Reggie's way better than me.
So, what's the furthest connection that you've seen in test?
So personally, I've tested to Australia. I think it's probably the furthest I've done.
Australia.
Sick. Okay.
But it's not. I mean, you're pushing it going to Australia. I
Certainly.
think I had like, for one of the people I played in Australia, I had 220 ping,
Okay.
which is too much. Like, we tried to play at like 4 frame delay, and
Yeah.
you can play. You can play, but there's like a lot of rollbacks.
Yeah. So,
and
do you start to see the like the teleporting kind of hiccup at that point?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yep.
crazy. Okay.
yeah, this is great though. At 80, I feel like 80 is kind of like the sweet spot where it's like it's still really good at 80.
What a trash kill. I'm so sorry. Like, he's outplaying me right now. Uh-oh.
Oops.
I'll take those.
Where do you set frame delay actually? Because in the setup
Yeah.
process it wasn't.
It's not really mentioned too much. Part of the reason is I don't really want people to change it.
Oh, okay.
Specifically because I think 2 frames should work for like 99% of people. And I think when you give people something to change, they try to change it, you know, and like they don't realize like the trade-offs.
Okay.
So it's not really mentioned, but we did make it easier. You can do it from the Dolphin UI. If you go to the, I think it's like config and then the GameCube tab, you can change it.
Okay. Because yeah, I remember when we were doing our Skullgirls Lab episode where similarly they were kind of like going like, hey, you kind of generally want to set, you know, this like I think they set it to 2 actually in that as well.
Yeah.
But definitely in terms of just like having people pick up and play and not want to futz around with settings too much, you've deliberately kind of made that a hidden setting.
Although I think I probably will make it easier to change in game. I think there's like too much reason to allow it. Although I'll probably have an auto option, and I'll recommend that like almost everybody use that.
Yeah. I mean, either that or like if there is a concise explanation so that people know what the number is and what it's doing.
Oh. What? Yeah.
That would be pretty handy
You got
too.
lucky, Reggie.
Oh god. Oh no.
Slide off.
Did Sharpie tell me to set it to 0 in Skullgirls? Is that what it was? Okay. Thanks.
No!
I don't remember what I was told to set it to.
No! No. Okay.
Woolie, something interesting, something I kind of wanted to touch on. I think I talked about it before we got on the show, but when you say 2 frames in this game, it's actually not 2 frames.
What do you mean?
So in all other fighting games, probably if you see like a 2-frame delay or whatever, you're actually doing a 2-frame delay. There is a 2-frame delay, but Dolphin sort of allows you to cheat a bit. Dolphin allows you to show the frames faster than a console would. So that's what like the whole faster melee thing was before we had rollback. So you were like, you are actually 2 frames faster. Like you can cut out 2 frames compared to console using Dolphin. And so when we have a 2-frame delay, it's actually 0. And that's why it feels so much like console. Because it's like, we're adding 2 frames, but we're also removing 2 frames.
And Dolphin is compensating for it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fascinating. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just kind of land square at 0. Oh, wow.
Exactly. That's also part of the reason we want 2, right? Because it's like, we don't want people to go to 1 necessarily, unless they have a bad setup. Because in order to get that 2-frame delay, you also need like a 144 Hz monitor, and like you need to like set your NVIDIA settings properly, which is talked about on the website. So it's kind of not free, and some people have setups where they can't get that 2-frame reduction exactly. So for those people, maybe they'll use 1, but we think for most people using 2 is probably the ideal. And even if they're like half a frame slower than console, it's like, I mean, it's still really good.
Yeah, but definitely I can see then, like, yeah, if you're fucking with input delay and like changing that perfect 0, as you mentioned, that they might end up with a worse experience and not fully understand exactly why there.
Yeah.
Yo, I did a shield drop.
Nice.
That's tech that's not from my era.
That's new shit.
Oh god. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Upsy daisy.
Yeah, I've been practicing the running ones. These.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Armada shit.
I got it.
Oh. Yeah. Go ahead, Willie.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, you know, Dolphin is fucking impressive, man. Like,
yeah,
this is what, like, from a console to console, project to project, like, you know, GameCube and forward, like, it has such robust support for so many different things, and like, you know, the fact that it's running this, it was perfect for me when I needed to, I had like a Kirby lore series where I kind of just needed to just go in and like, you know, grab assets and kind of like render environments and like rotate the camera around at angles that, you know, the game originally did not intend you to see things at.
Yeah.
Like, it was just perfect for that, for video creation. Texture pack updates are a thing that like run fairly seamlessly with like Paper Mario, and you know, and just the fact that like I remember like seeing when it was around for just GameCube, you know, and then like coming back years later and going like, oh yeah, no, it's running Wii, no problem. Like, it's a fucking amazing thing that just they build so much into it. Definitely one of the most impressive emulators, like, of all I've ever seen.
Yeah, and beyond that, I think it's a really, really cool open source project. Like, I think there's not a lot of open source projects that I know of that are kind of like as exciting, and they do it really well too. Oh, what, you're alive?
Yes, sir.
Landed on the cloud.
They do like blog posts too, like technical blog posts, which are just like really, really interesting.
Nice. Okay.
Specifically, if anyone in the chat cares, there's one about what they called Uber shaders, which is it's just like such an interesting technical blog if you're like interested in that stuff.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay.
What is that? What is that?
Want to lose again?
0-2. Okay, I need to step my game up. I need to pass from 2008 to at least 2011. So I'm getting out footsies right now.
What is the tech discovery rate in modern Melee?
Ooh.
Is that some, like, did I not hear about? Were you not telling me about shit that was being found as of at least a year or two ago?
Yeah, I remember a year ago there was something that was discovered. Was it like the Ice Climbers AI logic or something?
Maybe. I mean, people are always figuring out some weird stuff. It's getting, I feel like a lot of times it gets like more and more fringe with time, where it's like maybe not that useful. One that's like a little bit old now, but was still a while after the game came out. It was like Achilles with V canceling or whatever.
Oh yes. It's true. When you get hit while in hit stun, you can tap your shield to reduce velocity or something.
Something like that. Honestly, I don't remember the details. I don't know if anyone actively tries to do it, but that was discovered by like just like poking through the game's code, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Wow.
But I know, like, especially a lot of people sort of like, they'll figure out new applications for stuff all the time. I don't know if I'm like necessarily the right person to talk to you about all the stuff that like people are using more and more. But like, obviously back in the day, no one was shield dropping. Now everybody shield drops. It's just like a normal staple.
Exactly.
Reggie though hasn't been playing, so he's
Oh my god.
he's behind the times on that one.
I mean, I remember having discussions with Jimmy Bones about how people in Super Turbo, Street Fighter Super Turbo, are finding new shit.
Still.
Oh,
whoa!
We got a lag spike.
All right, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, so that happens when we go past that 7-frame buffer that we have, basically. The game is willing to roll back 7 frames. If you go past that, you get a stall, just like if you were playing a delay-based game.
Okay.
It just it's a lot harder to go 7 frames without inputs than it is, 0.
Ugh. Fucking no. I was expecting the kick. Alright, I need to do stuff that hurts Falcon.
That ledge guarding confidence, man. That's
Oh boy.
so terrifying in Smash games.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We're good. We're good. No! Oh my god. Yeah, we can't do it. No.
Delay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, see, I'm not supposed to do like jabs like that. That's old school shit, and people crouch cancel that into punish nowadays.
So that what your delay wake up was anticipating some anti-roll tech?
Yeah, I wanted him to like do something and commit. Oh my god.
Oh, I missed the dash. You were dead.
Oh my god, I got bodied. Oh my god. Yo, je veux mon salty. I want my salty
He
run
wants
back.
a salty run back.
Yo, what is this? Okay.
So
okay.
everybody knows when the French comes out, it's getting a little too real.
I love hearing it. I miss it, It's not something you hear in the States.
There is a
Let's do stuff.
there's a uniqueness to
That was good.
the Montreal salt.
Dude, I miss Montreal so much. I love Montreal.
T'es pourri, Régie. Lâche la manette.
No. Oh my
Pas
God.
capable.
No. Oh god, run! Get there! Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna do the right thing and blame my controller. That's what top players do.
It's not broken in the right way.
It's too old. I need backdash notches and shit. I don't know what they put.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't have the correct malfunction. That's
Don't
what's
worry,
going
Reggie.
on.
We got UCF on here. Your backdashes are safe.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
But yeah. It's these shield drop notches though. Although I think nowadays people have shield drop or angles for like Firefoxes and stuff.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, because it's really the reason why it's so important is like if you look at a graph of all the possible analog inputs in the game, it's actually pretty interesting because there's a dead zone at every like vertical and horizontal threshold.
Ow.
So like basically you have a bunch of angles and then as you get close to the vertical or horizontal, you can't do those angles. If you do, it'll snap to the horizontal or vertical, right? But what people want to do is they want to go like to the right as much as possible, but still down a little bit. So they want to like tread that edge. But the thing is, if they don't hit it and they go to the horizontal, they just die, right? Like, because they'll like kill themselves because they're trying to do like a certain tech.
They'll go too low.
So it's too risky. It's too risky to go for, so you don't go for it.
So you gotta mod the gate of the controller so that you feel a little notch.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the exact thing.
So you can hit it every time.
And thus we get into the conversation about like what type of controller should be acceptable for what scene.
DI out, Reggie. What are you doing?
I thought you were gonna attack me at some point.
Yeah.
Oh god. I'm chasing. That's bad. I'm chasing you.
It's interesting too because that's a conversation that like has been had in Melee for years, you know, with controllers that, you know, are specified to the player's liking and for weird things like that tech. But
oh my god.
In the arcade stick world with Street Fighter, this was something that came up recently with the Gaffro box, which is basically a stick that allows you to input things like sonic boom motions faster than you possibly could do with your hands because you have to go back to neutral. You know, whereas here it would just the negative edge release of one direction would immediately confirm the opposite direction, the positive input. So it'd be legitimately a faster charge, you know.
What's the stance on that? Is it banned?
Yeah, in the end they were kind of like that because I remember there's modified versions of it where they kind of were like they got rid of that specifically, but in the end the end of the discussion, at least as far as I paid attention, was they decided that was not okay.
No,
outplayed.
It allowed Daigo. Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Good job. It allowed Daigo to just do some wild shit with his guile.
Tab jump it's just so interesting. It's especially interesting because I think I kind of mentioned it, but like, I missed. I missed my full hop. Tab jump allows you to buffer jump, whereas normally I don't think you can buffer jump with it after certain actions with the jump buttons.
Where's the back here?
You cannot buffer with the jump buttons, you said?
Correct. So Ginger has a video about this, which was actually pretty good. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but out of certain actions, like out of getting hit or being in hit stun or something, there's like a certain amount of frames before you exit hit stun that you can press up, and it'll jump as soon as possible, right? But if you press X, it won't. So it's kind of interesting because like based on what you expected the person to do, or like you can try to bait them into pressing their stick, and then you know that they're gonna jump, and you can like read that and you can punish it, right?
Okay. Reggie was mad silent just now.
I was listening to
at the end of that game, you had a very stone face.
That's why you were smiling?
I just looked there was a very stone face reaction. I just want people want to know because the conversation was happening. It was a bit of a sandbag win, you know. But,
oh my god. Okay, that's it.
Oh, he's turning it on now.
Well, I gotta.
Oh, you're clicking your inputs louder. I see. Let's see what that's gonna do.
I'm pretty sure I stole that from V-Wins very early on in my career. I was like, man, he mashes his buttons. I should do that too.
The tongue.
You know, it's funny and
oh, I got him.
Dear.
Okay. All right.
It's funny because
disrespected my own workplace. I was gonna say my own home, but no.
Old arcade disrespect was like hitting buttons like the start button while playing to just straight up like make noise or like hit a fake button on your stick.
Yeah.
And people would respond to that just because it's like, why are you reacting to not inputs? Why are you reacting to my sounds? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, people talk about that a little bit differently in Melee. Where like, actually, I've seen people press buttons in there too to try to make people do stuff.
Oh,
or,
fake
like,
buttons.
Fake input. Yeah.
Fake rolls. Yeah.
Oh my god.
On the edge, you can like tap your shield really loudly as if you're gonna roll.
Yeah, the shoulder buttons on a GameCube controller.
Oh, the tag.
Nah, okay, that was all right. All right, Reggie. Okay.
I'm gonna pay. Get out of here.
You know,
my last death was 5%. So
all those years on the road weren't for nothing.
I got experience. I know when they got the bloodlust still.
Established. You know how to play. Yeah, the loudness of those triggers. Actually, that never really occurred to me. That shit's fucking loud.
yeah.
You could react to that.
I remember seeing a YouTube video that was kind of funny. It was just like, it was like a video of a ton of crabs just like running around on top of each other, and then the audio with just like a bunch of GameCube controllers clacking, like the sound you hear at a tournament.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Very nice.
Crab videos. Oh no. You know what? I don't like you.
The reverse.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. I'm getting training moded. This is how it feels like in 2020 to play Melee. I'm getting bodied in my favorite game. Get out of here.
So that, like, the fact that you fucking you get KO'd wrong side with the elbow on that. I'm just thinking of like the those memes where you can identify the game by its hitboxes. Have you seen those?
I've seen that,
those are fucking great, man. It's like it's a bunch of bubbles. Oh, look, it's Marvel. You know, is there like 8 really tight hurt boxes along the limbs? It's King of Fighters. You know, Street Fighter has like 2 giant nonsense ones. One of them that shoots way behind the sprite's neck or some shit like that on a punch. You know.
I am thinking so hard about why I am losing right now.
You're breaking down the matchup. You're taking You're in pools and you're taking that. You're doing that head nod. Like okay. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, that's why I lost. Okay. I got you.
Yeah, you got it now?
I got it. If you want to play a game where like you can make your opponent feel like you can do nothing, Melee is one of those. Melee, Marvel 2.
Yeah, oppressive.
Yo, get bodied.
Oppression.
Get bodied, go home.
Absolutely.
Why are you doing it? You want to put a quarter? Give me a quarter. I'll use it better than you. Go home.
I mean, no quarters in Smash Brothers, but if there was, oh my goodness, the level of disgusting disrespect, kids crying, you know what I mean? The tears in the Smash game where it costs you 50 cents per loss. Get the fuck out of here.
Just walking out of the basement like, I couldn't recover. Your chic is so cheap.
Yeah.
He foxtrotted me.
Flipping all over his face. Kid wrapping his controller like, yeah, what? See you next Friday.
Tell your grandma to bring the car around.
Oh, that was crazy. Oh. But yeah, actually, part of what Slippy does too, like going back to hitboxes, Slippy records replays, right? That was like what it originally did of all your games. And you know, you can go back and you can watch those replays, and you can turn on the development mode toggle, so you can like watch your game. You can watch your game back with the hitboxes showing.
Oh, is that the original purpose?
Yeah. Originally, it was like, well, the original. The original purpose was stats. So like I wanted to be able to compute complex stats.
Okay.
Based on game state. So I would look at things in the game, like I'd look at all the action states, and then I would like interpret it sort of frame by frame and with time, and to try to discover like what a
that was cool.
And try to like find what is what is a combo, what is a conversion, or whatever, and then like try to extract that, right?
Okay.
And so that's kind of like the original idea. And then from there, I was like, well, I can also just instead of extracting the stats directly, I can extract the data that I extract the stats from, right? And then I can do the stats after. And that's effectively replay files, but with like additional data. So eventually, I don't have this yet, but eventually, like on, for example, your player profiles on Slippy.gg, I'll want to like analyze a person's replays, like all of their replays, right?
Yeah.
And figure out like what is their average openings per kill. Openings per kill being like how many neutral interactions do you need to win on average to get a stock, right?
Ah.
And then you can like you could maybe order players by like their stats, and maybe you can have like interesting pre-game stats on a broadcast where you like talk about the different players and how they match up. You know, what you'd see,
man.
what you'd see for like
Nice.
sports and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna jump and start playing with anyone else who's got their codes now. Real quick, just mixing it up.
Yeah, it's really cool to see older players posting on boards and being like, "Yeah, I got Slippy who wants to play." And people are like, "Oh!"
Nice.
It's
Like
so cool.
Bam was posting and stuff. And
Yeah, I saw Raynex messaged me.
Raynex
too.
also.
I don't think he was
wow,
playing
okay.
before. It's so awesome, and you know, like even beyond that, like I've gotten such wholesome messages from some people, like people from like countries that normally, you know,
Have nothing.
they don't have a lot of local
Yes,
players, right?
man.
Like they're just a tiny scene, and now they can play against people.
Yep.
And like they're just overjoyed, you know. They're just like, oh my god, I love this game. I've been practicing by myself for so long, and now I can like play somebody.
Yeah.
So that is the number one thing, dude, is just like, and like, every time we talk about games and like kind of encourage people to check stuff out, there's always just a very worried, like, will I be able to play with anybody online? I live in the middle of like Wyoming or Nebraska, or just I'm just out in the Deadlands, you know, and like, or even like you said, like Australia, you know what I mean? And they're just like, they need something. So you've definitely done something to like allow people to have a game to play, you know?
Yeah.
Like there was, I remember that, what was it, like one dude I was talking about, just like his community being like his locals were 45 minutes away, and he could only go in between like shifts from 7 p.m. Like he'd work from like 8 in the morning till 7 p.m. at night, and then have these little windows of opportunity to play. And it was just, he had passion to play the game, but just couldn't fucking get out, you know? So
Yeah.
that meant everything.
Yep.
I can't talk to play. who am I fronting on?
Yo, people are getting Slippy hype.
Yo, pal, I thought you were an anime player, bro. Crewman, what's going on? You never
I know
told
him
me.
from Smash.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
The origin.
Yeah, lots of players.
Yeah, Crewman used to come to my apartment sometimes to play too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was it when you were downtown or in the east side?
I think it's when I was in the east side
Yeah.
more.
Good times.
Yeah.
Me and Jazz would do first to 5 a.m.
Oh yeah. First to death.
Yo.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Oh, got him.
Gunshot. Nice
Love
shot,
to see it.
Woolie. Boop, boop, boop. Chanson Noir is trying to get in.
Oh boy.
Have you been practicing other characters than Falcon? Well, I mean, before you gave up the game.
No, I didn't give up the game. I think when I said I hadn't played, that's like probably not on the time scale that you haven't played.
I've played
Like,
once a month for the past 3 months.
Yeah. So I probably played. I haven't played in like, you know, a week and a half.
Oh my
maybe.
god.
So like, so I was like slightly rusty, but I de-rusted pretty fast. But yeah, actually, I've been playing a bit of Falco.
Oh,
little
really?
bit. Yeah. Although I think my Falcon is still a lot better, understands a lot more micro situations.
Yeah, it's in your bones.
I think, yeah, it's really a tough melee. There's like so many small situations you have to like kind of know what to do, and like
Micro.
within all the matchups. And I'm sure a lot of games are like this, but it's just so tough
Yeah.
to like learn it all.
It's the same for me. Whenever like I start a new fighting game, until like I sit down and press every button, I'm like, what's happening? What is going on?
Yeah.
I know you said that you don't really play traditional fighting games, but if I was to suggest one, I would say maybe try Killer Instinct.
Fucking great.
I was telling Woolie, I think Killer Instinct is the closest fighting game, philosophy-wise, to Melee, because you can like escape combos, you can do good reads, you can put your opponent in bad situations. But in most other fighting games, when you get hit, you just eat the combo, right? And Melee is really active at every moment. You have to pay attention to your character.
Yeah, I watched Esteban's documentary on
Fight On.
Fight On!
Yes,
yeah,
nice.
on Killer Instinct. So yeah, it was really cool.
It hooks you in,
really
that documentary.
Really interesting. What's that?
It hooks you in.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
from the first 5 minutes, I was like, well, I'm not moving. Like I'm gonna watch this one shot.
Yeah, yeah. I think I did the same thing. I was like, I'll start it now. You know, maybe I'll pick it back up later. I just watched the whole thing right away. Alright. But yeah, Killer Instinct is definitely seems pretty cool. I've always been interested in like Marvel vs. Capcom or DBFZ.
Oh, the dirty games.
A little bit more probably.
Filth. You
Grind your feet on couch games.
You like feeling disgusting after a nice touch, you know, touch of death.
Yeah, well, I don't even have that context. I'm just like, whoa, this looks cool.
That's good enough.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
You get hard reads. Okay. All right. Listen, I need to get in on this. So you take one and I take one on this one.
You want both?
Skull God is there.
You should have a proper first to 3 then, I think.
All right, let's go. Because Skull God, this is his game. I mean, I need to know.
Muscle memory for your name at least isn't there.
Oh, purple. Here we go. Called it.
Uh-oh. Okay, we have players. Yo, what? Oh my god, what?
That was sick.
That was so godlike.
Yeah.
He did crouch cancel to bomb jump down there?
I think so. That was great.
Yo!
I don't have those.
You don't see Hugs do that. That was planned in time. How do you do that? Godlike.
She is so fucking fast. Holy shit.
Yep.
It's hard.
She was top tier for the longest time back in the days because she was good without L canceling.
Also, her combos are just so automatic.
Yeah,
There's so
they
many of them
flow.
on her. Yeah.
And her grab.
Yeah, that roll chase is unstoppable. God damn, dude. All right.
Samus's roll is also very slow, so it's really hard.
What button?
Some characters have much faster rolls, makes it a lot harder.
And Melee is like one of these games where
God.
like you want to be like who's top tier and nobody has an opinion that matches. Like who's top 5 in the game? Who's top 6? The order will never be the same for anyone.
Yeah.
There'll be patterns like okay Fox, yeah, and then people will be like yeah, but Marth. I mean Marth, I think he can handle everything. Oh, but that's only potentials, you know. It's all theory crafting. Well, okay.
Or does it change if you have notches in your stick?
It might, you know.
Maybe.
You can consistently do the bullshit.
Like
yeah.
UCF Falcon is not as good as Vanilla Falcon. So I don't know.
Oh, Sheik. I mean, Zelda.
Wow. Let's go Skull.
Yo. Break her back.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at this fucking absolute trash
He
pile
wants
here.
to look beautiful
He
right
really,
now.
he just wants to flex
He's looking
in the most
beautiful.
disrespectful way. Fuck you. I know what you're about, you piece of shit. Just because I won't place Titanfall whenever you're on. I hear ya. I hear ya.
Oh, in the chest. Oof.
The fake didn't work.
Ouch. Bye bye. Good night.
Alright. Here you go. Take the
Want
other
me to
one.
go?
Take the
Okay.
other one. One sec.
Just
Skull. Yep. No, I mean, listen. How do you even?
Oh no, sorry.
How do you even Sheik? How does one begin? Like, I feel like a whiffed throw was like 8 years. He had time to do his taxes.
It's like hold up.
And then again, catch back up to me, man. Blonde E. Yep, we're playing people right now. We are just whisper your code if you want to get a game in. Though we currently have a lineup going. It's pretty slowly working our way through it. But yeah, the code was SHOU 286, I believe. Show, as in Show Tucker, the hero of Full Metal Alchemist. SHOU. Yeah, that's it.
Oof.
We got 90 ping this game.
Roll. Yes.
Oh yeah, it'd be cool to ask people where they're coming from. Actually, I'd be curious.
I think the game plays pretty well at 2-frame buffer up to like 110 ping. I think
Impossible.
once you start going over 110, switching to 3 might make sense. Though I think in North America you can play almost anybody under 110. I think.
It's like, yeah, tell us your location and your ISP. Are you on Comcast? What are we doing here? I feel like one of the most important facts, though, that I didn't even realize until it was pointed out in that whole Back to Block video is that, like, it's not just about making the game feel better to play. It's about the fact that more people in further locations can play together.
Absolutely.
That's the craziest, like, secondary buff that you get, you know?
Yeah, I think that's why the combination of this was so strong. It's like, because I didn't only release Rollback, right? I released Rollback and integrated matchmaking. So that's the combo of things that really makes it awesome.
Nice. No tech. Oof. Yes. Uh-oh. Going up.
Yo, make Skull sweat. Make him sweat.
Uh-oh. I'm dead.
Damn it.
Unless. Hiya! Yes!
And I think that point is also especially important for either the top level players or like the very new players, right? Because those are the people that probably have not a large player pool of people that are like similar skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolute beginners, and when you're at the top, you need to set your matches up. And you know, people have gotten used to the discording and getting together and getting sets going. But like, yeah, if you're absolutely on top of your game,
But if you don't have rollback, right? Like, if no one lives near you, like for example, if you're Leffen, your opponents are pretty limited. But if you can play people at like console speed. Now, like, on the east coast of the US, that expands your potential player pool so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Don't do that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And Smash, you know, like, happens to be a game where, like, as far as I can tell, there aren't really many, it's not like other fighting games where there's constantly a need to, like, play against Japanese players, for example. You know, and it'd be a dream to connect from America to Japan.
Probably the largest good player pool is in the US, so.
Yeah. Hey, yo, take this. Okay. I don't know if you want it, Skull, but like I wanna.
What is he again?
Yeah.
Locked in.
I messaged Keats to talk a little bit about delay because I was curious about it. Because like when I play Melee with 5 frames delay, which would be 3 effective frames, right?
GG's.
Yeah.
It feels awful. Like it's playable, but it's like very sluggish, right? Like you can very much tell. And it's interesting to me, like games like KI, you know, have 3 frames of delay and people love it. Like
yeah.
And so
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so his theory, I think, was it's kind of a ratio thing. Like maybe Melee just has like a lot of really fast moves and fast actions. Also, Melee has very little buffer. I think the buffer might have been more my idea, but I think he's just saying that since you have like a lot of fast moves and a lot of fast actions, as a ratio, it's just like more dramatic. So you notice the frames
Oh, dang.
like delay a little bit
Double
earlier.
mint. That's a name.
Hopefully I'm doing what he said justice, but
I mean, so like as Fight On kind of explained, like yeah, KI was built with the move lists looking to reflect exactly what you're describing. Like rollback is going to work really effectively when you have Jago having a giant overhead, where the startup animation is just he just snaps into it, you know,
Right.
and he's got this huge windup and then bam, like it comes out. Like it just it works a lot better in that particular case, and it feels like you know, Melee not being intended for that, of course, is just gonna do whatever it was supposed to be. It was just things are gonna come out as fast as they need to. So yeah, it won't have as much leeway as KI does, for example. I don't know if he's gotten in touch, but I mean, yeah, Keats is usually around, and
yeah, I've messaged him a bit. Actually, before I even started on this, I reached out to him and I was just like,
sick.
do you think rollback could work for Melee, right? Like Melee has all of these things. That's
I was
like, maybe
impressed for a
different.
second, and then you fucked it up. Sorry. Go on.
It's okay, it's okay. So yeah, I was just checking with Keith, like, could it work for Melee? You know, like, is there anything about Melee that makes it a bad fit? And like, I think I've probably come to realize this working on it, but like, I feel like rollback is never not gonna be a good fit. Like, there's almost no situation where it could possibly be worse than delay-based netcode. You know, like. At worst, maybe it could be equal, but I think that's like highly, highly unlikely. I don't know what like scenario you would need to make that happen.
The experiment could have ended being at par, you know, basically at worst, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you ever, not that travel is a thing, but I'm sure if you're ever out in like Orlando, you can like, you know, maybe see if you can reach out. He's a very cool guy to have dinner with and just kind of talk shop about all these things, you know.
Yeah,
pick his brain.
My family actually lives in Jacksonville, Florida, so I'm there.
Okay.
Frequently.
Okay,
Wow.
that was gutsy. No boomerang.
I was playing Save State recently, and like, he blows himself up on purpose, right, to like do crazy movement stuff.
Oh,
so when you threw that bomb, and blew yourself up, yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's tech. Okay.
Kinda, yeah.
Does it like you go further as a result, kind of?
That was sick.
Oh no! Huh. You can get movement off of the explosion.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Well, Reggie just linked a bomb throw tech roll to forward smash. It was crazy.
Only on get into fighting games.
Sitting here silent like you didn't know how to do it. All right, there you go. That's rad.
Yeah, Falco A lasers are super interesting. They feel so smothering at first until you figure out how to like kind of keep moving while getting shot.
What is the general way to deal with that?
Yeah.
Like just take the hit, tilt in.
Kind of one option, which is like you go for a power shield if you can, just like, you know, you shield right before it hits you. If so, it reverses on him, right, and it hits him. And when shielding, you can wave dash out of shield, so you can kind of like shield and then wave dash, and then keep moving. So you can prevent the lasers from affecting your movement too much if you do that.
Okay.
Or you know, there's other options, like you could play the platform more.
Assuming that like he doesn't see that coming and then have like a smash charged or something. Right?
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's always counterplay, but
And I think also lasers have more block stun than hit stun.
Whoa. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait. No, that makes sense. Yeah,
So
you're correct.
I know
thought you
some
meant the
Fox
opposite for a
players,
second.
they're really good, and they're gonna try to like jump in the laser, fast fall to land, and then try to attack Falco before he can build his offense after the laser. But that's like, that's beyond my era.
yeah, that's kind of the take laser strategy,
Yeah.
which you basically purposely get, not even necessarily purposely, but if you get hit by a laser, ideally purposely, but you can act so fast out of it that like if you're ready to react at the right time, you can punish Falco. But I'm also not very good at that one. It's very
Whoops.
what a madman.
Reverse.
I mean, it is an interesting like type of zoner where it's like just an annoyance tool, slight hit stun on it versus Foxes where there's none.
Yeah.
That's not a thing you see often in other.
Oh, you can choose the other Sheik here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How about that?
It's actually for technical reasons. Normally you can switch to Sheik by holding A when the game's loading, but at that point in the game, the inputs aren't synced between both players. You forgot the pound sign, by the way.
See.
The inputs aren't synced between both players, so on your screen you would transform, and then on the opponent's screen you wouldn't, and so you would desync, right? So I had to have a different way to start as Sheik or Zelda.
Oh, what? Oh, really? So like the animation does not occur for both players based on that
Right, because the inputs aren't the input happens during stage load.
Yeah.
And during stage load, I'm not transferring inputs yet.
Oh wow, that is an interesting bug to run into. Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think the trophy for Game & Watch says it's sausage. We could technically check since we have all the trophies, including the Japanese ones.
Hey now, listen.
Yo, he tried to fart on you.
Altason, listen, bruh.
Smell my feet.
Careful. Careful with that. That's wild. Has anyone ever died in tournament to that?
Oh yeah, it happens.
It must have, right?
Because every single Ganon player out there
Wants it. Yeah, like that. Like that. Oh, you fuck!
Oh my god. Altason, that was good. That was good.
Oh, fuck me.
That's planning in the future.
That's beautiful. That's brilliant. That's great.
But yeah, I was about to say,
Highlight
every
reel.
Ganon player loves to like feel himself.
Oh yeah, that's
and,
why
like,
you're
style.
playing Ganon for that. That feeling is everything. It's the lifestyle. It's the Warlock punch.
Like they'll do down there to fair on the spacey, and it'll always be hype, no matter what. No matter what. And they don't play Falcon. Like, what is wrong with you people? You wanna down there to fair someone? Play Falcon.
Yeah.
Oh, bye.
Getting stuck under the
Sucks.
stage. Hurts.
Sorry.
Uh-oh. Ah!
Oh, wrong direction.
Okay.
This might be a crazy question, but like, where did people go to play fighting games in like 2011 or 2012? Because I remember when I was there was like I think it was like a floor in some building or something.
Net
where there was
Champ
just
Battle
fighting.
Arena.
Yep. So that
Is
was.
that what it was?
So
Yeah.
well, so 2009. Ooh, 2009 was fighting games coming back from the Dark Ages. There were no real console rooms and esports lounges and stuff yet, but around 2010, a couple businesses set up, a couple of like places that generally have, you know, their Counter-Strike players and StarCraft running and stuff started putting up some consoles.
Oh! Dragon Ball!
GG's. Yeah, they started putting up some consoles and getting some TVs going and stuff. And in a lot of cases, to be honest, so in Montreal in particular, with like the Street Fighter community, what we were doing, I was just grabbing my Xbox, bringing it out to Cine Express, a little like cafe bar, and we were just plugging it in and having people come on out, and I was just holding weeklies that way. You know, so like that's kind of how the community got restarted. Like MTLSF was an arcade thing from well before, but there was like not much going on. And in terms of meetups, like it was just a bar with my console. You know, and so like
And nachos.
it was pretty hard. We had to put in work basically to have a community. To be perfectly honest, yeah.
People have asked me, obviously, like, "Oh, can you do rollback for Brawl?" And
Yeah,
C++
do
and
rollback for
everything. It's
insert
like,
game here. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, no, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
could look at what I did. Maybe try to build it
See,
yourself.
that's
but-
what it is, man. Like, honestly, like, it's just, you can't be asking that because it's got to be on the interest level. Like, you're putting the passion in because this is a passion project. You have to care enough about what you're doing to spend this time, full time, mind you, working on it. But what is most important is just the takeaway and looking at the possibility of, like, considering, okay, could this happen for the game that you care about that currently has no online whatsoever or complete trash online?
Right.
You know, this is what it is, and fucking just dude. You know, just repeating myself, but like that's something incredible that I super respect, and I just feel it's always a hopeless discussion. You know, it's always this discussion that ends in negativity and just there's no point, and like you're just sitting here frustrated that the people who are making the games you love just they won't budge on this point / they're going to take so long to catch up. I remember when the issue of the day was, can we please get touch to input controller settings? You know, when it was like, hey, can we go to the buttons and just touch to map our buttons? Because every game prior to fucking I don't even know what started it, but it was well after Street Fighter 4, well after 2009, we still were scrolling. Marvel 3 came out and we were still scrolling to change our buttons, you know? And like little things like that where you're like, guys, the quality of life features across the board in fighting games. If there was, you see, like the thing happening tomorrow, which is the state of the
developer
state of the
roundtable
union, right?
discussion. Yes.
Like that's the kind of thing that it's like, okay, so this is happening publicly this time. I don't know if it's the first of its kind ever, including behind closed doors. But if you take every fighting game out there and look at the amount of quality of life that's just a standard thing, fighting games would clearly be a very inviting and like something you can learn from. Not how you can play online, you can you can find communities, you can learn from the game, you can get into a low level and then like mediocre and then sort of like amateur level of understanding of what is happening with tech and matchups and all these things the game can provide, you know, just combining it all together. And other genres do that. Other genres release games that actually stay up to date with the quality of life that previous things, including their competition, have standardized. I mean, you know, look at how Apex Legends came out and had this incredible ping system in it, and the reason why they dropped it secretly was because they're like, Fortnite's going to steal this within seconds, and they were right.
And lo and behold, it came out and they still stole that.
They were completely right. Fortnite within seconds was like, that's amazing, we're taking it. And it's like, who wins? The player wins. A ping system destroying the need for like you know, jumping on a toxic mic with people and shit like that. It's awesome, you know, and like other little things like that. These genres don't struggle over these things, but we do, you know. So just seeing these solutions come into play where it's like, hey man, even without the blessing of the developer, even without any of that, like this community has clearly been going on, and to the point where you've got this happening, it feels good to know that like you don't have to have a dead end to the conversation. You might actually be able to look at it and go like, we can do it ourselves. Maybe. Big maybe. But where there was a surefire not at all, now there's a maybe.
Across the continent, and we're having fun. This is playable. I want to play more.
Yeah. I think over time it'll work out, right? I think that they're aware, people are being vocal about it now, and I would like, if the next generation of fighting games comes out and we're still trying to resuscitate this horse, I'm gonna have a big like spiritual guard break on that. I'm gonna have a spiritual guard break if the next generation of games comes out. You know, starting with Strive and then Project L and everything from that point, you really don't want to have this discussion anymore. But we'll see how it goes, you know? Yo, Fizzy, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and appreciate you coming on and kind of explaining how this happened. And I appreciate the fact that you did this. It's super cool. I have much respect for that, and I'm looking forward to see what comes next.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for letting me on. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, thank you for showing us the good stuff. Where can we find you online if we want to find Slippy or hear your thoughts? You have Twitter?
Yeah. My Twitter is Fizzi36. You can go to slippy.gg for Slippy stuff. Also, you can donate on there if you want, and you can also support me on Patreon. My Patreon is also Fizzi36.
Nice.
There you go. And he quit his job to do it full time.
Yeah.
So, give him some love. Give him some love on that.
Any shout outs?
Yourself? You try to get yourself shout out?
No.
No! I'm about to mute this man. I'm about to mute this man.
I did not have such bad intentions.
Obviously, thanks to everyone that helped. While I did do most of the development for Rollback, I had support the whole time. People I could ask questions to. Certainly, Uncle Punch supporting with some code as well. And he's just been amazing whenever I have questions about how the game works or anything. And my whole team, Nikki and Meta as well, just like helping answer any questions I have, helping drive the product a little bit if I had a question for how to do something, and so on. And also like the people that talked to me and got like this helped me decide to do this. Like Keats, Blur, Ramon also, who that Keats referred me to, was helpful when I had a few Rollback questions. Yeah. So I'm missing a ton of people.
Yeah, it's the Oscars. It's the Oscars. You can't thank everybody.
Play them off.
I want to say, oh man, I forgot my mom. No.
God.
One more. Lil, of course, for design,
hey.
for helping me with a lot of the design stuff.
Yeah, the site is clean.
Yeah, she designed the homepage, and the homepage is really cool.
Yo, God is like, roll back, my son.
Yeah.
Roll back. All right, everybody. That's going to do it. Thank you so much. We are out. And, yeah, I guess we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.
Welcome to the world. Let's get it on now. Select the mix, first bit, get it on now. Select the mix, 76. Let's get it on now. Choose the best one.